There we go. We're live. Well, it's Friday, y'all. You know what that means.
I
I can't check.
You can't see it? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't. If you have another device, you can watch it on another device. But I have it pulled up here, so if I see questions or whatever, is it possible to watch it with StreamYard's Savage?
Yeah, you can, and you just go to
That's what
down
I'm
there to
on.
the
I'm
little
on
chat
StreamYard.
box.
Okay.
You see the little
All
chat
right.
box, Arabia?
Yeah.
Okay,
Hold on.
hit that, and then you'll see private, and then comments, and hit comments, and that's the chat.
Okay, when I do that, it covers up the.
Yeah,
I
it
think
does
they can
cover.
still
Yeah, it
hear
covers
you
up
though,
your picture.
but we'll still see you.
I think it is. Oh.
Anywho, we're live, so let me go into this thing and say hello to people, and then we'll get started. We have Arabia and Savage.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello.
She just dropped out. She's gonna have to come back in.
Mm-hmm.
She knocked herself out already. Let me turn my camera on. Hello.
Hello, everyone. I
If
see
my
you.
makeup is too pale, let's not get all nitpicky about it.
Oh, well,
Right?
it's Halloween. Don't worry.
It's Halloween for sure.
It's
Hey,
coming
y'all.
up.
I gotta go let her back in because she's on the other thing. Hold on, and I'll explain why this happened.
There she is.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mandy's
I was
muted for a minute.
Okay, I'm back.
I was trying to look at the comments and I knocked myself out.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was concerned about. I didn't know if you'd be able to do it or not. But so Arabia, Savage, and myself, and then we have a friend up there in the corner. Let me tell you about the friend in the corner. That's actually me on the laptop. But y'all know my laptop's picture is horrible. So I did it, and then I joined my own stream. So that's why that one in the corner. It's just the laptop sitting there not working. So
everybody's glitching. I see on live streams right now. Anyway,
that's what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna start. We're gonna start with Arabia is gonna tell it all, man. She's gonna tell it all.
Tell it all,
y'all
girl.
better lean in. Y'all better lean in. So yeah, let's just get started. So the first thing, and I did get a flip chart. I'm not gonna write on it because it won't stay up straight. So I'm just gonna show you. The first question we have. Can you read that? Hey, baby. Read that out loud.
Let's talk about Arabia having 7 kids with 7 baby daddies.
Okay. You have 7 kids with 7 baby daddies, Arabia. No, she does not.
Now, that was a lie out there, right?
And just so everybody knows, we're clearing up the misconception about Arabia.
Yep.
Because a lot of people are screenshotting shit, sending it to a lot of people, sending links to live streams that have been done. And we're, while I have a few minutes, I'm just going to take the time to clarify some things.
Let's do it.
7 baby daddies. No, I do not have 7 baby daddies, nor do I have 7 kids. I have 6 children. I have 4 baby daddies. And so the fuck away.
Yep.
My oldest daughter, who will soon be 26, has a father. My kids underneath her, Sienna and Serena, have the same father. My 2 kids under them have the same father. Sharia and Shaden, they have the same father. And my little Mir has his dad. So there's 4 baby daddies and 6. Now, the 7th kid, we're going to talk about that for a minute. Arabia never had a baby that was taken away from her. Arabia never had a baby that was given up for adoption. What Arabia did was about 24 years ago, Arabia was a surrogate mother. I became friends with a couple. who the guy could not have kids and the woman could. She already had 2 teenage girls, and they wanted a baby. And they were a stable couple. She was a homicide and robbery detective for the Flint Police Department. If you have ever lived in Polk County, Florida, you probably know this woman very well. Her and her husband were both officers, like the police department, and they approached me about carrying a child for them, and I did. So 7 babies, yes and no.
Right.
Do all of my siblings understand, or does all of his siblings, including my other kids, consider themselves brother and sister? Yes, because this child and this family have always remained in my life. We became lifelong friends. That child to this day is on my Facebook page, as is his 2 older sisters, teenagers when I met their parents, and both of his parents. So,
Wow.
yes, they communicate with him and they have a relationship with him. And because they consider him to be their brother, it's not because they don't understand the situation. It's because they have formed a relationship with this child over the years.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And what you did was amazing.
I consider him to be my child because, I mean, let's just be real about it. There was never any emotional attachment to that child on my behalf.
Right.
Did I take care of myself when I was pregnant and do everything that I could to have a healthy baby for this couple? Absolutely, I did.
Mm-hmm.
But was I sad, or was there ever a point in my time where I regretted being a surrogate mother for this couple? Never.
Right.
Never.
And the way that you met that mother, can you explain a little bit how you even met her? Because I thought that was interesting too, as I picked myself back up.
Okay, so when I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I was 18, 19, somewhere around in there. I lived in a community that had a serial rapist and killer on the loose. And as I said, this woman was a homicide detective for Lake Department. And one of my neighbors was attacked by this man. She actually had to have plastic surgery and reconstructive surgery. She lived through the attack. She's also on my Facebook page. And so I met this woman basically investigating the 2 women and the 3rd woman he attacked and killed in my neighborhood. And we became very good friends. And, and then later on, I met her husband, and, we had built a rapport about a year before I was ever approached about carrying a child for them. So, and, a lot of people say, well, why didn't they just go here or there or whatever? We're talking about 24 years ago. Okay. I can't hear you, Mandy. I can't hear you.
You're muted.
I can't hear you.
There she is.
Okay. I kept tapping unmute. These nails are so long, I can't do nothing with them. But so what you did, regardless of why you did it, is the most selfless thing a person can do. There's no one that can, I don't know. I guess this community is crazy. Anyone can say something, but
baby is concerned, nobody knows who the daddy is.
Right. It's the truth of the matter. Yeah.
Nobody know the baby daddy.
I was muted.
You don't even know the baby daddy.
Right. So that's where 7 kids comes from.
Yeah, this was 24 years ago. Yeah. And after my pregnancy, which they did financially support me through my entire pregnancy, for an additional 2 years after I gave birth to that child, they also financially supported me. They're the people who bought me my very first car that I ever had as an adult. They paid. And then, he was between Sierra and my daughter, Sienna. Now, Sierra's almost 26. Him and Sienna are not even a whole year apart. So they were still paying the child care of my other 2 children. So, even after this baby was a year old. So, I mean, it is what it is. You know,
Yeah.
I did honestly to be a surrogate mother.
Yep.
But they basically gave me my jump start into adulthood by financially supporting me. They bought me the very first car that I ever owned as an adult. They paid my child care for me to be able to work and go to school for 2 years beyond the 9 months that I carried that baby for them.
Which is, I mean, which is amazing. And it's totally was y'all's decision what to do, how to do it, how that worked out. And I think it's absolutely amazing. I'm not sure why the 7 kids being thrown in your face is because she knows that what happened with that 7th child, correct? I mean, it's not like.
I'm glad you asked that because honestly, I don't know if she actually even knows the entire story because as I have said before, this is a person I known or I knew for 30 years. There was not an actual consistent 30-year friendship. We went years sometimes without even speaking on the phone.
Okay.
So I have parts of my life that she doesn't know anything about. There's parts of her life that I don't know anything about.
Right. Okay.
You know,
that makes sense to me. Let's
so,
talk.
I mean, yes, she knows there was a 7th child. I'm sure that at some point, you know, we discussed it or talked about it, but it's not something that we've continued to talk about 30 years.
Exactly. And, that's my point.
You know, but that's where the 7th baby comes from. Now, only one of my children seem to have a problem differentiating between me being that child's surrogate mother and me being that child's mother.
Right.
And of course, that's the one that we all know. Gotta love Serena Lachey.
Yes.
That is where a lot of the, you know, I don't even know which one.
Everybody.
Is it supposed to be an insult that she tells everybody that I got 7 kids?
Well, she got 5. Damn. Who cares?
It's some sort of, it's throwing shade at you.
Huh?
It's throwing shade in your direction is what she's trying to do.
That's just what that child does. It's what she always has done. Is what
but that's what she's doing. That's talking about how many kids you have.
My other children do understand. I never got pregnant with that baby on my own. I never intended on keeping that. Like they understand, you know, all of everything behind that. They consider him a sibling because they have built a rapport. Okay. But they also know that child was carried for the couple that it ultimately ended up going to, who had raised him. And he had the best of everything. He's 24 fucking years old and he's flown jet over in Iraq.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Graduated aviation school, you know, when he was, I think, 17. There's nothing, there is no better people that I could have done this for. He had the best of everything. He had top of the line everything. He always had a private education. I mean, it is what it is.
She's it's amazing. Anything she can to make you feel bad about something in your life because she's a miserable piece of shit.
And that's the thing. I do not feel bad, and I never have, and I never will.
Right.
You know, because like I said, there is only one of my children who don't seem to comprehend and understand. And it's not, well, I'll take that back. It's not that she don't comprehend and understand. It's that's what she does. And it's what she's always done. And it's what she's always going to do. And she does not do it just to me. She does it to her. She does it to her boyfriend. When a certain mother and daughter duo get her fucking time just right, she'll do it to them too.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're talking about somebody who has the character of doing this to other people besides me. She's my child. I love her. I'm proud of her. But the truth is what the truth is. We don't get along. We don't.
Hey, y'all.
There is nothing anybody can say about that that's ever going to make me feel any type of way.
Right.
Not even about my relationship.
I keep yawning. I gotta wake up for real.
So Arabia, do you have a college degree?
I have a double major actually.
And what's that in?
Criminal justice and paralegal. And I used that to then go on to get a bachelor's degree for legal studies. And that legal studies degree, I actually completed when I was in South Bend with a particular person who claims I don't have a college degree. So
there you go. So when she says she knows what she's talking about, she knows what she's talking about.
Where's
Like,
her
legit.
college degree?
She said to look it up. She's got a psychology degree. I don't know where it is though.
Who? Tell Fark got a
Yes, what she said. That's
she got
what
a
she
psycho degree.
She
That's what
said,
the
"Go
fuck
look
she
it
got.
up." She said, "Go look it up." I have it. Okay. Well,
Whatever. Who might cares?
let me back up and let people understand, because I know not everybody goes. A double major does not mean I have two different. It means basically that I hold two complete transcripts on two different majors
Yep.
in degree. That's what a double major is.
Yep. Okay.
So I got a double major, which is, some people call it 2 degrees, in the same amount of time that it takes somebody to get an associate's degree.
See?
Right.
My bachelor's degree in legal studies did not come until years later. I just completed, I think I might have 1 credit that I need left from being short of actually getting that degree. But I completed the last semester that I needed to complete to get my last 6 credits on that degree, ironically, when I was in South Bend.
Wow.
So
that's incredible. So tell me about this.
Hey, Kim.
Do you have a gag order on you?
No, I don't.
You don't. What do you have?
I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to explain this to you.
Okay.
And what I'm going to explain to you is how this order was obtained, what the appeal is actually appealing, and why.
Arian. I got one.
What I have is an order of protection that was granted to another party against me on the grounds that I committed dating violence.
Oh dear.
Can you guys see that?
Hold it one more time.
Do you guys see what's checked there?
Yeah.
Can you read it?
I can't get up to change.
They can screenshot it and blow it up. They need to see it that close.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
Well,
Screenshot it, blow it up.
If I minimize this, is it going to kick me out?
Don't do
I
that.
wouldn't mess with it.
Okay.
I'll be back on in a second. I'm here though.
Can you guys see? Is it clear? Can you see what's marked?
Let me see what they're saying.
It says that it says dating, violence, and abuse. And you guys see where it's marked.
But y'all want a couple.
No, we weren't. And that's why this is being appealed.
Have you ever in 30 years been romantically involved with her? Ever?
Not even once.
Not on a drunken night, not on a
Never.
Nothing.
Never.
Okay. So that's a lie. That's a complete lie she put down.
What she got was a domestic violence order of protection. What I am appealing is the error in that record, because whether you are in civil court, family court, criminal court, there is a preponderance of evidence requirement and a burden of proof requirement. Burden of proof more so applies to like criminal shit. Preponderance of evidence applies to family, civil, things like that.
Right.
On a record,
I hear that.
On a record where any court has handed out a judgment, a ruling, or a sentence, the record has to reflect 2 of 4 things that is required to be on record. The types of evidence are demonstrative, testimonial, documentary, and real. The record reflects only 1, which was testimonial, and the lack of 2 of those 4 evidences required for the preponderance of evidence clearly shows the lack of preponderance of evidence, which is what is called Poe. If the evidence is lacking for the judge to preponder.
See?
So what I did was, because we all know there was never any domestic abuse in this situation. because there was never a
Right.
relationship of any type of intimacy
Never.
whatsoever. So what I did is I made an appeal to a higher court on the errors of the record. And what that will do, now I'm not asking for them to take the no contact order away. What that will do is it will get another hearing so that the record and the ruling of the no contact that applies to me will basically, the errors can be corrected. It'll be a whole new hearing where the same thing happens, but the evidence will determine whether this was domestic abuse or whether this was just a situation where she needed an interpersonal restraining order. And that is what the appeal is. And I'm appealing that for two reasons. I'm appealing that for two reasons. One, because the truth of the matter is there was never a relationship. But for two, I have a problem with judges who disregard procedure. I have a brother that spent 24 fucking years on death row for something he didn't do. And so I'm very bothered overall in general that judges disregard procedure, because my brother's story is actually what led me to get the field of study that I have.
Right. Which is amazing. I mean, it's awesome. It's so awesome.
So that is very personal to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's very personal to me, and it has more to do with the fucking judge, honestly, than the no contact.
Well, and didn't you say the judge that heard it was not a civil judge anyways? Isn't that what you said?
No, it wasn't. And that's why there was a little confusion in Meade County where I live, we don't have a family court. So all cases are heard by a criminal court judge.
Right.
In some states where that's the case, the preponderance of evidence automatically is the burden of proof.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently not so in Kentucky, but but that's what the confusion was in the beginning, is what exactly was this judge's responsibility here before handing out a ruling to someone? Was it or was it a burden of proof? Because they're different. Burden of proof carries beyond a reasonable doubt, that the record has to show there was enough evidence to conclude beyond a reasonable doubt. But in the preponderance of evidence, the record has to show at least two of the four required types of evidence to show the preponder. Well, if you only got testimonial evidence, you're lacking some, buddy, and you didn't have shit. Therefore, that ruling should never have been given. So that is what the appeal is. The appeal is basically to go back, request another hearing, clarify the record, and get the right type of restraining order that applies to the situation. Now, I'm also going to show something else since we're talking about this restraining order. The only two orders that are attached to this is no contact directly and no indirect contact through a third party. That is literally the only orders that are in this restraining order. For the Boys and Girls Club, what that means. No direct contact. I think that's pretty easy for everyone to understand.
You're muted, Mandy.
I can't contact a certain individual personally, by email, by text, by phone, by whatever.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Contact means. What a third party contact means is, like, I can't tell you, Mandy, to contact a person and give them a message for me.
Right.
I can't tell you
that's third party.
You have to make direct contact with that person personally.
Yeah.
Exactly. So she tried to say this third party shit.
Before it can be any type of indirect contact that leads back to me.
So that whole bullshit she tried to spin that day she got home, gloating and doing whatever she wanted to do, try to get up there and say, people on the internet, third party, cannot say, like, we couldn't say your name. We can't talk about you. Bitch, get the fuck out of here.
She thinks we're stupid like her.
Well, and here's the thing with that. That wasn't even the fucking restraining order that anybody else's name was mentioned in.
Mm-hmm.
The one that everybody else's name is mentioned in, we haven't even yet gone to court on.
Oh, wow.
What the hell is that for?
The only reason anybody else's name is mentioned in that particular order that she's requesting from the state of Indiana is because I guess she was using it as some type of evidentiary. These are the people she said this to or did that. That's irrelevant. Those people have not been served or summoned to be a part of that court date. So let's just say that even that order gets granted. Let's just say that even that order gets granted. That order still only applies to me because I am the respondent. I am the only respondent. So when that judge gives a ruling, that ruling is for the respondent only.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like she wanted to pass out gag orders and tell everybody that they can't say her name. Sam Telfer, shut the fuck up. Well, I say it all damn day. You can't do shit, bitch. Do something. I
choose not to say her name, not because I can't, but because I just want to. But as we all know, the police have already been here once for a live stream that I did. And just as that officer said, first of all, for me to be arrested on spot of violating this, the officer himself has to prove that direct or indirect third-party contact was made, because those are the only two court orders that apply to this. And under where it says no indirect, unauthorized, unlawful contact, it also lists that I have to stay 500 feet away from her in that one check mark that covers both of them. So actually I have three orders.
And that's what the police are worried about. That 500 feet, because ultimately it's her person, not her feelings. So they really only care about that 500 feet. Yeah.
That's it.
They don't care about her feelings.
And the only way that any violation of this order could actually stick is if that direct, indirect, or within 500 feet or yards or what the fuck ever it says is actually proven to have been done.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only three ways I can be violated on this order.
Right.
Direct contact, indirect, which some people call second or third party. That means that another party has to directly contact her and show proof that I had them contact her.
Right. Exactly.
That's what it means, y'all.
While we're talking about that, let's talk about third-party harassment. First of all, in legal aspects, there's no such shit as third-party harassment. No. Whatever harassment that someone does to somebody is their criminal offense of harassment. Do you get what I'm saying?
Totally.
A lot of people think that that's a thing because I'm not sure why people think that's the thing, but third-party harassment is not even recognized in a legal sense in the state of Kentucky, and that's why nowhere on this order, even the shit that's unmarked, is there anything referred to as third-party harassment.
Nope.
Because it doesn't exist. No. It's not a thing. Nope. In the state of Kentucky, and since this is the order that Indiana recognizes, it also has to recognize Kentucky law when recognizing this order. So it doesn't matter whether it's in Indiana or whether it's in Kentucky. The jurisdiction of where the order was given is the laws that apply to that order.
There you go.
Right.
So there is no third-party harassment, which means that just because I happen to associate with people who
don't like her,
happen to have harassed her because they've been harassed way before any of this ever came about with me. What that means is that cannot be used against me as some sort of violation, because if you harass her, that becomes a criminal, thing between you and her.
Right.
You can't go harass somebody, because of me.
Right.
Whoever is doing the harassment is the one that would be guilty of harassment.
Right.
So
She the one guilty of harassing the rest of our asses over here for how
Yep.
many months, years.
Arabia, have you, it's changing gears just a little bit. Have CPS taken your children?
never.
Never.
I went to the penitentiary when my 19-year-old, I actually found out I was pregnant in jail. I was very early in my pregnancy. I went to the penitentiary and I gave birth to that child while I was incarcerated in the penitentiary.
Mm-hmm.
What CPS did was they stepped in and they gave custody through a court to her father, which already had Sierra and Sienna. What CPS did when I had the baby in the penitentiary was basically they made the physical custody he had of my other two children more of a legal custody. And they did that because, I mean, hell, yeah, I could have gave the baby to him on my own, but the legality of, him being able to come to the hospital to pick the child up, I was an inmate,
Mm-hmm.
There were other situations involved in that. So CPS basically mediated the situation. And because they needed to mediate through the court, they went ahead and they actually placed custody of all three of those kids with Sienna and Serena's dad. And this court record, it can be looked up.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the only time ever that CPS has ever stepped in and actually opened any type of investigation on me for any type of abuse. And they didn't even do it for abuse or neglect in that situation. They did it because I was in the fucking penitentiary. I gave birth and he wasn't allowed to just stroll up onto the hospital property, come in my room and, just off with the baby he goes. That's not how it works when you are incarcerated.
No.
So now, has CPS been to my house? Well, yeah. Obviously, y'all heard the story about how I chased.
That's what someone just said in the chat.
Yeah.
They were like,
yeah. I mean, you guys have already been told that story a long time ago. Yes, I chased them bitches out of my house, across my yard, and all the way up the fucking street.
And somebody was sitting right next to you, validating every word you said.
She was in her hospital gown.
Don't forget that.
I had just given birth to my 13-year-old son.
Oh, Lord, it's the police.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I don't like that knock.
Why is she such a loser? You scared? You scared, girl? What you scared about?
Hold on, you guys. I'm going to leave for a minute and I'll be back.
Okay.
I'm going to leave for a minute and I'll be back.
Okay.
All right.
Well, moving right along.
Oh, you fucking... You are such a scaredy fucking bitch.
She said nothing on the internet ever phases her, and we should know that.
Yeah.
Well, then why are you letting this phase you? Why are you calling the police?
33 minutes on, and the police is already there.
Yeah.
Will you please stop, Samantha? You are a piece of shit, man, and you're known as you're being the biggest cop caller that in this whole community.
She is
fucking rat.
She is a badge bunny.
She is, honey.
She is a badge
I cannot
bunny.
believe that. That was the police knock too. I know that knock.
It was.
Well, I really don't know that knock, but I watch a lot of TV.
Oh my gosh, Alexa, stop! I triggered her. You're like, I know that knock.
We ain't even got to the good stuff yet. That's what she's scared of. She don't want that shit coming out.
What the one thing that
I know those knocks.
Yeah, Sean goes, I know those knocks. It was
that knock, wasn't it, Sean?
So let's talk about we have lots to talk about. Let's talk about hypocrisy in the noodle nation. Again.
Oh shit.
Now I remember we were
here we go.
Start calling out BS and stuff. Remember that when we had that talk and if something's ridiculous or something, is appalling that you stand up for it. Well, today,
hey Shannon. Hey FOD.
The badge bunny.
Shannon said they haven't even dropped the atomic bomb yet.
I know. She was just a tweeting and a tweeting and a tweeting and a tweeting. That's what she was doing this morning. She said, Mrs. ATX, Mrs. Recovery Vlog, friend of Bill. Those are all Bill W. Those are all recovery references. Bill W. is the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous. It says, I don't give a fuck what our problems have been on the internet. You know Jessica is a junkie. You know Jessica is responsible for that Julian's death. You know Jessica has changed nothing about her lifestyle in the last 6 years. Next one says, you are exploiting his death. And then the last one says, I think it's evident nothing that anyone says to or about me on the internet phases me. Nothing.
Oh,
Is
okay.
that
Well,
why you
evidently it
went
does because you got police at the girl's
right?
house.
This is the internet. We were talking and you called the police. So I think
The
it does,
second
Samantha.
time,
I think it
Mandy.
does.
Second
What a
time.
wuss. What
God,
a
you
wuss.
fraidy cat. When do you get your ass beat?
And then the last one. So anyway, it apparently does phase her. But the last thing said, is that why you went to Julian's mother, Mandy, knowing she's a junkie? And that's what I have in that screenshot. Let me tell you something.
Hey, I don't even know the woman.
I had not said anything about that boy to anyone.
No.
Nothing. So you put all that out there and said that I was exploiting him and this and that. Someone show me where I mentioned this child, this child that has passed away in the last
No one even
4
mentioned
days,
him.
on a screenshot, on a live,
Yeah,
on
please
whatever.
do.
You can let me know because I didn't. So regardless of how they got in touch with her, she left a comment on a video where you were owning once again being his mother, and I'll get to that in a second. She put that comment on there, and that's what you ran with. Apparently she contacted you out of the blue. She left that comment, and you put this whole scenario together. Regardless of how it came about, where she saw it, what she saw it, whatever. Have I spoken to her? Absolutely, I've spoken to her. I didn't reach out to her, and neither did any of these girls. So
I didn't.
that. Let me tell you. Well, before I change gears to the Noodle Nation, let me say, the lady that you are proceeding to drag and calling a junkie is a well-spoken, clean from drugs and alcohol, caring woman that takes care of other kids that are related to her in her life. And she was that boy's mother in every sense of the word. You only knew that boy for 15 months.
I think we need to play the video of her claiming, I didn't give birth to him, but I raised him as my child. We could play that, so then everybody would be caught up on what we're talking about, because a lot of new folks don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah.
But this is going to make a lot of sense.
I can play. Can you share screen, Savage?
No, I'm on my phone, honey.
I can go back to the computer and do it. Or I can play it on this iPad and hold it up.
Yeah, you can just play it and let us. Well, all we got to do is hear it. We ain't got to see that beast.
Okay.
With her big old nose breathing up all the air.
This is where that boy's mother hold on, let me X that. Sorry. This is the one where she left a comment under. It's a troll kind of channel that put this video out a couple years ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's been there ever since. I think it's the only video. But anyways, this is what you're listening to.
Yeah. And
hold on. And FYI, who she's talking about is her girlfriend Yaba. Just keep that in mind too.
This is a video to her girlfriend Yaba. Okay.
Yeah. So hold on. You wanted to bring it up and
Let's
act
bring
like
it
I
up,
said
bitch.
something about it. Now I'm going to explain what it is because you are off your rocker.
She's a liar.
Here we go.
Making videos where they drag my deceased child in his memory, where they blatantly, falsely accuse me of defrauding anybody and being a con. I've said one thing about Yaba's kids. One, I said that they're unfortunate looking brats. And I said that in response to her saying that Julian wasn't even my fucking kid and that I was using somebody else's kid on the internet for attention. So, and in case you missed it and you don't know, Julian is my child who died. 14 years old. He was killed in a car accident. So I didn't say shit about Yaba's unfortunate looking brats until she said that about my dearly departed child. So you got a problem with that? I don't give a fuck. see him. Get out of here with that. Get the fuck out of here with that. So, go ahead. You're not blocked. Use your little fingers. Give me examples of these low blows that I throw that are so egregious. Let's hear it. I've got about 10 more minutes. Here's the worst part about it is I never claimed to be Julian's biological mother. Not from day one. When I first started my channel and I was making car vlogs on my way to and from work before I knew any of these motherfuckers. I didn't know anybody. I had a channel. I posted videos talking about shit and I put them on the internet. Nothing. Nothing. I told that story about Julian, and from day one, I was honest about my relationship with him. Yes, he was my son. Yes, he was my child. No, I did not give birth to him. Aunt Mimi. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
You said you feel sorry for my son if I don't have compassion for him because I made a comment to somebody one day and I told them to stick a needle full of air in their arm.
Oh, she told Randy that, remember?
Remember that? Yes, she did.
I didn't say stick a needle full of heroin in your arm. I didn't say use a needle and overdose on drugs. I didn't say that. So what's the difference between Catherine last night saying, oh, she's not dead yet, it would be better off if she just died, which isn't the first time she said something like that about me. Oh, you see that? That's my memorial tattoo. This is my memorial tattoo for my son. You know, I had to go get a tattoo so I can be sure to use him
Look
on
at
the
that
internet
face.
for
I know.
attention. I didn't say go overdose on drugs. That's not what I said. I said stick a syringe full of air in your arm. I told someone to go fuck themselves.
Okay. So
Now,
that gives you the background of who she says that he is. Now you go ahead.
this is how it is. I'm gonna lay it out to you in layman's terms. This
Hold on.
bitch come over here in this damn community and use this poor child.
Let me turn this down. Hold on. That was that same channel. It was the next one about
Oh,
Trisha.
okay.
Go ahead.
But what I was saying was, she came into that community using that as pity and trying to get everybody's pity and feel sorry for her and sympathy for her. And now we have years later, we have came to find out this bitch didn't know this child but a couple of months.
Right.
They even moved out of state away from over where she was. And then months later, he got killed in a car accident. Correct, Mandy?
Correct.
So this raggedy bitch came up in this community on a fucking lie. And I guess they were calling your ass out for the con in Aspendino too, because you are a fucking con, bitch. You've been a con since day fucking one, and a damn snake, and a piece of shit to use somebody else's grief and loss of a child for your very own to maneuver your way and slither and snake your way through this damn community. You're a piece of shit, Sam.
And
I
guess
can't be on here. Y'all have to wait till I get off to discuss all that.
okay. Okay. That's okay.
Huh. Oh, okay.
Again, a restraining order is not to protect your feelings, your
No.
ego, or your reputation.
No.
To protect you from physical harm.
Mm-hmm.
This is a sort of harassment towards you, Arabia. I'm sorry.
She's using the police to harass you.
You guys know I have an attorney. You guys, I mean, all of this is going to stop very soon. All of it.
Good.
If I have to petition the courts myself again on this restraining order, to get clarification on what is a violation, what is not, because the order that I have, there's 2 court orders on there. No contact directly, no indirect contact, and to stay 500 whatever away from her.
Yeah, that's what I
Those
thought.
are the orders. Those are the orders out of all the other orders that could have been marked on here. Those are the 2 orders that are marked with the judge's signature. So, again, I don't even remember where I was.
Hold on. Were you instructed by the police just now that you can't talk about her at all? It's okay if you were, but
I was instructed to try to stay away from conversations that are directed at her. Yes.
Okay.
Whatever you guys were talking about when I wasn't here wasn't directed towards her. And the things that I was saying was not directed towards her. I still have a freedom of speech.
Right.
I am the fuck allowed to get on the internet and tell a story about things that involve me, situations that involve me, and any goddamn court case that my name is on a docket for. I'm allowed to fucking speak.
Here's the silliness of this whole thing. The reason she keeps calling the police is so that you can't talk, right? She's obviously not scared. You're sitting here on a camera, so her physical person is not scared.
Here's the thing. If someone is afraid of someone, hold on, y'all, I just flushed my cigarette down the toilet. If someone is afraid of someone, now mind you all, we are on a platform where 90% of the people here do not like the person that I am telling my story about and my experience in court with.
Yes,
so if you have a restraining order, even though it doesn't apply to you on your end, why are you following people around the internet?
Right.
Exactly. Why is she watching?
Unplug, like they say, unplug and don't watch if you don't like
why is she constantly watching every fucking move you make?
Because
why do you care if you're so afraid?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the legalities of it don't change.
No.
I know what's marked on the order that I have. I know that I have a freedom of speech to talk about any goddamn court case that I was in, unless the judge himself put a fucking gag or a seal on it.
Exactly.
Which is not the case here. And I know that next week I will have the actual transcripts from that hearing. And as long as they are accessible for me to walk into the courthouse and get them, I can do what the fuck I choose to do with them.
But let me ask you this. Is you talking about her, is it something that they're going to come back and arrest you for if you continue to do it?
It might be something that may lead to a court date back in front of that
but they're not
going to
come pop you in cuffs.
But there is no violation of the actual orders that the judge assigned here, which is no direct, no third party.
So if she sends them back again tonight, if she sent them back again tonight, are they gonna take you to jail over talking about her?
No.
There you go. No. Quit calling the cops.
I know, right? It's ridiculous. You're wasting.
Let me tell you something. There is a difference in talking directly to someone and talking on a platform where you're telling your story that happens to involve them, that also involves myself.
Right. So that's
I am the fuck allowed to tell anybody what the fuck I want them to know about any situation I was involved in.
Well, if she calls them again tonight, I doubt.
And whether that be a legal situation, whether that be an intimate situation, whether that be an old friendship, whatever the fuck it may be.
Right.
Nowhere is my speech fucking gagged.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
So scared.
But again,
I'm gonna quit saying that.
Why follow people around the internet on platforms where someone knows that they're not welcome?
Right.
You don't see me popping up, in everything that's been said about me. You know why? Because I really don't give a fuck.
Right.
I'm addressing certain questions and comments that people have come to my DMs and asked me directly, which I have those DMs. I am addressing people that came to me asking very specific questions about me having 7 kids, 7 different baby daddies. And of course, just because it came from that source does
Right.
not mean that I am violating 2 specific court orders that a judge signed. That's not what that means.
Right.
So it is what it is.
Oh well, you looking stupid.
Yeah, that is absolutely ridiculous. I know we keep saying that, and it's like whatever.
Well, when
but
she gets off, we'll tell you the rest of the story, y'all. Don't
yeah,
worry.
we're gonna tell you the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm not going to sit on a panel that is addressing her directly.
Right.
No,
Right.
you
right.
know,
and
no.
that's what we're gonna.
But
That's
I
what
am
the hell we're gonna
allowed.
do.
I am allowed to tell my side of the goddamn story about what was said about me in court, the order that was placed against me, and considering that the judge did not seal or gag anything on that fucking record, I am free to post them transcripts all over line if I want to.
Right.
They belong to me.
Right.
This is my court case.
Yes.
I was the one accused of doing things that a judge just made a ruling in, and I'm allowed to speak my piece about that.
Yep.
I absolutely the fuck am.
Yeah. I bet they were irritated having to show up for that BS. It's not like there's not other
and the
stuff
truth
to do.
Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is if they get a call, they, especially with someone saying that a violation is being committed, there is an order. You know what I'm saying? So they are going to come see what the fuck, the big deal is about.
Yep.
I got a question. Can you talk about how you know Julian's mom? Y'all's relationship, leaving that person out of it.
I met Julian's mom when I was in South Bend. I've actually met her a couple different times. I do not know her son.
Mm-hmm.
Her son had already passed when I became friends with her. Her son had already passed when she became friends with the person that I met her through.
Right.
So, what I know about her son is that her son and someone's daughter dated off and on for a period of about 14 months. 3 months when that relationship ended and they never got back together. He still remained in the South Bend area, but there was no hanging out or anything among them. I mean, they talked on the phone. They were 13 and 14-year-old kids.
Mm-hmm.
3 months after they had not been involved or any type of dating, he then moved away where he lived in another state for 4 months with his mama and his family where he had always lived with them. And he got into the car accident and 2 people were killed in the accident. 1 person lived. And so there was a total of 22 months from the time this girl started dating this guy until the day he died that they knew each other. You see what I'm saying?
Totally.
In that 22 months, there was about 7 months at the end of this child's life that they did not date. They did not even see each other. So if you shave that off, if you shave that off of the 22 months that they actually were involved on and off.
He moved with his mama to another state.
Right.
Well, he lived in South Bend with his mama.
Oh.
And then they moved?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They moved to another state the last 4 to 5 months of his life. Okay. But before they moved, there was 2 or 3 months where there was no hanging out, no seeing him or anything, because he wasn't dating the same little girl that he was dating at the time. Yeah. So 22 months total is what the actual knowing this child was. 22 months. If you shave off the last 7 or 8 months of his life where there was actually no direct physical in-person, I see you eye to eye type, contact with him, it was strictly just all over the phone, text messages, school, whatever, then that leaves about 13 to 14 months that on and off that this woman's son dated her daughter. After that first 13, 14 months, they never dated again, and he only lived about 9 months after that.
Right.
So the total time of actual interaction with this child was 15 months on and off. And most of the interaction was between him and the girl he was dating, not him, the girl he was dating, and her mother. So, and what I know about his mother is that she had a very hard time dealing with his death, and that they decided to relocate back here because this is where, or, back to Indiana, as South Bend area, because that is where he went to school. That's where all his friends were. That's where her whole family was. Right. So when they came back here, they decided to stay here instead of returning back there without him. And that is the point that his mother actually met his girlfriend's mother. I mean, they knew each other from being dropped off at, each other's houses and stuff like that. But the friendship, there was never even a 10-minute conversation between Jessica and his girlfriend's mother until after he died. So what I know is that Jessica had a hard time dealing with the death of her child. And yes, she was put on anxiety. Yeah, I mean, she was put on anxiety pills, and she lost her shit. She wasn't herself for a few years. Well, and during the time she wasn't herself, she was befriended and taken advantage of. And her son's only been dead 6 years. That's it.
Can we say whether or not Arabia, that due to the car wreck that happened, and there was probably a lawsuit and a big amount of money settlement coming through, don't you think that had something to do with it also?
I think it did in the ongoing of, keeping this woman around as a friend. But initially, in the very beginning, no, because nobody knew that there was going to be any type, nobody knew that. But once that was uncovered and found out, it came with benefit. Right. So, but the 6 years that his mother and his ex-girlfriend's mother were friends, that friendship was developed after that child's death. And she didn't even know her prior to her son being killed.
Wow.
I'm gonna read I'm gonna read Julian's mother's comment that was 6 days ago, which when she saw this video, it's on the video that we just watched where Sam claimed that was her son. And she said, "I'm not sure what this is all about, but let me clear something up that has me sick to my stomach. Julian David Parmalee is my son, born January the 23rd, 2000, and died in a car accident in St. Paul, North Carolina on November the 28th, 2014. He was the boyfriend of Sam's daughter for a year or two. She did not raise my child at any point in his short 14 years of life. Everyone who knew him loved him, and he was a wonderful young man. It sickens me to know that she has collected money from you in his name, and that she has been claiming him as her own child." So that was the thing that she left. And then I guess we've been seeing that she popped out of nowhere and started, communicating with this woman that we're talking about, Telfer. And she is hot to trot because she's pissed off. Now, why she decided to put all that on Twitter today, talking about me. Going through all that, nobody had talked about that boy until you brought it all up. You are exploiting him, and I do not understand why you went that far as to put all those tweets out tying me to him. It's the same thing that you have done time and time again, trying to use him for attention. You loved the way that the attention that you got when you claimed this. He had a mother. It was not you.
Wow. I didn't never read her comment. I never heard it until right then. Oh my God.
That's what she left. And then now all of a sudden she has this whole theory that it's some big hit job that involves me.
Yeah.
Now the last thing about the recovery thing, where she was like, "Hey, Miss, whatever, recovery, whatever, this woman has problems." No, the hell I don't. No, the hell I don't.
I don't know her from a can of paint.
calling her a junkie, regardless of her situation. Randy, where are you? Wendy,
Yeah.
where are you?
Wasn't that like a big thing?
Yep. You even commented on it saying, "Oh wow," or whatever. You are okay with her dragging the hell out of an addict if she was?
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay with you?
That
Of
went
course
through
it is.
something tragic.
Yep. You're okay with dragging the hell. This is why, because they are so afraid that Yaba and Yaba mainly, but Sam will turn against them and go for them, that they're willing to overlook anything.
Oh yeah, at this point they are. This point they are. But I feel so bad for that lady. I don't even know her, but I feel so bad. I'd be pissed if I knew somebody was out there claiming my kid for pity on YouTube, being a victim on YouTube. I would be freaking livid.
I also heard that at his memorial service, her daughter was making out with another guy outside the funeral home. So stop. But I cannot believe Randy, Wendy, Diane, y'all are so, if anybody mentions Diane's relative that had those issues or makes any comments about that, then she goes absolutely apeshit. Why is it okay for Samantha to do it? Why was that okay? It's ridiculous.
Exactly. Of course, they're all scared. They're scared of the big line man over there, honey.
Yep, I woke up to those screenshots of her going absolutely crazy, trying to say this, that, and some of the other regarding the boy and his mother. You just brought all it on yourself.
Yeah, nobody had even said anything. Nobody had even said anything.
No, nobody.
Let me finish up with answering the questions that people have.
Okay, no problem.
And I will otherwise do all of that.
No problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can. The question.
I don't even remember where the fuck I was at.
What about Aspen? Can we talk about Aspen Dental or no?
I wouldn't, because with her up here, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Well, she don't need to pay again. Damn.
That's what I'm saying. Those were kind of the questions.
He did tell me that if they got another call, yes, they would come back because they have to. There is a restraining order.
Yeah.
But they themselves have to believe that I'm violating that order before they can arrest me for any type of violations.
Right.
Know that themselves is if they actually witnessed, and I actually went through and showed him what I was doing. I told him what I was saying. I showed him the order, and he said, he said the same thing I said. It's a court case that involved you, and you absolutely do have a right to speak on it. So, why are people following people around the internet on platforms that they know that they are not well liked in?
Yeah. Why are you even watching? Don't even understand why you watching. You trying to watch and get something.
Exactly. It's so strange.
That's harassment.
I know there's some criminal summons out there that a certain somebody has not been served yet. And, I could spend my time sending the police over there to get that accomplished. But it's,
and to make it perfectly clear, she knows her personal being is not in any danger because you're on the internet and you're home, right? So she's trying to enforce you not talking about her. Sam, that is the weakest. That's the weakest thing you've done yet.
You guys cannot address her directly while I'm
don't address her.
Okay, well then answer. Okay, what questions do we have left, sweetie? Because the ones that we have, I don't know.
A lot of people wanted to know what I was talking about with my tweets with embezzlement.
Oh, okay. Yes. Let's do that.
Okay. First of all, to understand, you'll have to back up and let me explain what brought that about. Okay. Everybody knows that in every state there is a statute of limitations on when some crimes can be charged and some crimes don't have a statute of limitations, and that and the other. And it is a very general consensus that after a certain amount of time passes, that you are completely home safe with no possible prosecutions ever, because what you think the statute of limitations means is not exactly what the statute of limitations means. Okay. So let me explain that first and foremost, and then it'll be easier to understand all of the other
Yes,
things.
Philly girl, lock and load, Philly girl.
Okay,
Put your guns up.
Put your
let me
guns up. Put them
explain.
out.
Let me explain what the statute of limitations, why it's even a thing. A statute of limitations. Now, I know if you Google it, it'll say it's all about a defendant's right, to due process and this and that. That's technically not the way that is applied today. That might have been the way it was applied years ago, but it is not the way it's applied today. A statute of limitations is used for two things. One, to not congest a courtroom on a bunch of old crimes. And for two, because you have to remember, prosecutors' track records have everything to do with when and how they are elected and appointed in the future. And also it builds their political ladder because a lot of prosecutors become, other types of politicians. So because track records are everything in a court of law with prosecution building their career, another reason it exists is because prosecutors don't want to try old cases that they can't win. For two reasons. Because evidence over time becomes irrelevant. Let's say that you need DNA or fingerprints to prove a carjacking. Well, 5 years after the fact, those fingerprints aren't going to do you any good to prove that a certain defendant committed a carjacking. Okay? Also, eyewitnesses. A lot of states require eyewitnesses to a lot of felony crimes. Over a course of 5 years, people move, they die, they get sick, they end up in, nursing homes, jails, prisons, what the fuck ever. Another country, the military, whatever. So eyewitnesses are hard to track down after a period of time. So initially, the statute of limitations generally mean that after a certain period of time on some crimes, yes, you are home free and in the fucking clear. But there's a thing called a toll to soul, and there is a thing called an extension to toll. Now, those two things sometimes, and this is why interpretation of the law means everything, sometimes there are some states that have a toll to soul, sometimes there's a state that has an extension to soul, and sometimes there's states that have both of them because they are actually two different things. But because states that only have one, they kind of sort of interchange the meaning of them. So it's just a general understanding that toll sometimes mean extension and extension sometimes mean toll. What toll does is, let's say we're 4 years out from a 5-year statute of limitations, okay? And somebody identifies you as being somebody who pistol whipped them, put them in the hospital for 3 months, and damn near almost killed them. They come in contact with you 4 years after that crime is committed, and there's a 5-year statute of limitations on it. What a toll means is that from the very time that particular victim contacts the police and says, hey, I have identified the person that tried to kill me 4 years ago, that state prosecutor contacts a higher court to get a court order to stop the statute of limitation time clock from ticking. So you never get to the point where the statute of limitations run out for you to be charged in that crime. Because for one, they still have their eyewitness. And for two, maybe there is some evidence still floating around 4 years after the crime has occurred. Okay, so that's what a toll to soul is. The state of Indiana has both a toll to soul and the extension to soul. What an extension is it means like 5 years after the statute of limitations, same scenario. You identify the person that damn near killed you and had you in ICU for 3 fucking months. What an extension does is the prosecutor goes to a higher court and they obtain a court order to extend that statute of limitations, to go beyond. Now, what determines what felony crimes qualify for an extension or a toll depends on the type of evidence that may be required for the prosecutors to prove their fucking case, because a statute of limitations really is all about prosecutors not being able to prove their cases in court and losing fucking more cases than they win when they make a habit of trying cases that are 5 and 6 years old that fall under felony crimes that have a statute of limitations.
Okay.
So is everybody following along with that part?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay. So the types of crimes that are determined to meet the criteria for a toll of soul or an extension of toll are crimes that don't need DNA evidence, crimes that do not need an eyewitness, such as embezzlement. So the reason I used embezzlement was for two reasons.
We'll talk about that. We'll go into detail. You finish what you're saying, but I'm saying we'll tie it to the story. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like later. Okay, go ahead.
So I use that example for two reasons. It is a very common crime in the state of Indiana that toll to soul and extension to soul very commonly applies to. And it's also a crime in the state of Indiana that can still be charged to, and somebody thinks they're in the clear of actually committing that crime right now.
Exactly.
My tweets about the embezzlement and the statute of limitations were all in reference to some other followers that I have who actually came from another social media platform that I happen to know in real life that kind of know a little bit more about what goes on with me in my real life. That, you know, for anybody who had questions about that, that is what the fuck I was talking about.
And we're going to definitely tie that into it. So it is no biggie. But I'm glad that you explained it. We're going to take it from here, Arabia, and do you justice. Okay.
Yeah. And again, you know, every state interprets laws differently. Right. Every state has different laws. The only laws that apply the same across the board, no matter where the fuck you are federal laws.
Yep.
So what one, you know, attempted murder case might be here, might be, you know, felony murder in another state. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
You know, so anybody who wants to come out and say, well, that's not true because this is what this means. Well, maybe that's what that means in your state, honey.
Right.
That's not what it means in the state of Indiana. My legal studies degree was for the state of Indiana.
You see, and that's why she knows what she's talking about.
Right.
Okay.
Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an attorney. There are a lot of things about law that I don't know. Mm-hmm. You know, I did not actually go to law school. So there are a lot of things, but because I have a proper interpretation of the law, people don't have to explain things to me in great detail because I get it and I can connect the dots because of the knowledge that I already have.
Okay. Very cool.
Okay, Arabia.
We're going to tie it together now, so I don't want you to get in trouble. So you jump off.
Don't even be in the chat. Just listen.
I'm not. I'm actually going to finish doing my I'm going to finish doing my dishes and take
We gotcha. We'll take care of your Okay, bye, Arabia.
Bye.
So what that last part that she was talking about, we'll circle back to that that boy's mother. What she was talking about is the fact that Sam stole $37,000 or thereabouts from Aspen Dental where she worked. What she would routinely do is tell people that if they would pay cash on whatever it is that they needed to have done, she could apply this discount and this discount and this discount. And so she says, and I can get it down to where you pay me $300 today and $300 next time or something like that. And that's what she did for people that were paying cash. The reason that she didn't get caught was because of just a fluke. It was just a fluke that they didn't have enough to get her. But what Arabia just explained to you, connect those two things together and you'll kind of understand why she was explaining that.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. So that was everybody lock and load, put your guns up.
Yeah, because they're coming for us.
But circling it back, like I said, you know, I don't know why she brought it up and started, you know, hooping and hollering on Twitter about me and that boy's mother and him. I don't know why she did it. Nobody
Uh-huh.
was talking about it. But the things that you said in those tweets that I saw, where you tried to pull my recovery into it as well and say, you know, she is, you know, a total addict and whatever. What does that have to do with anything about her being that boy's mother?
Exactly.
What does that have to do about that?
Mhm.
And Randy and Diane and Wendy, shame on you for letting them drag that girl's name through the mud on Twitter and not saying
Exactly.
anything. Shame on you.
Oh, Randy
Call-
did. She commented under it.
She said, "Oh my gosh, wow, yeah, that's
I'm
nice."
so sorry. I'm so sorry, Sam.
So that's my point. It never was an issue until you made it an issue, Sam. It wasn't an issue that you had to go throw mud at until you just did it on your own.
Yeah, it came out, dumbass.
Exactly. But the truth is, subsequently, I have talked to that lady, and she, like I said, is a well-spoken, intelligent, well put together lady. And you, like everybody else, tried to jade people's image of her to make people think that she was less than, so that you could swoop in and be that boy's mother. And that's messed up. That's what a narcissist does.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what a narcissist does.
Psychotic.
Mm-hmm. And then in the other comments, it was like, you know, Yaba was like, we won't believe anything that she says tonight, or we won't believe anything that she says. I love you and whatever, and I love you too. Well, why would you yeah, I know, right? Why would you say we're not going to believe anything that comes out of her mouth when you don't know anything about her?
Exactly.
Right?
How the hell do you know?
That makes you look like the closed-minded hypocrite that you are.
Yaba.
Mm-hmm.
But too corky.
Yaba Patch Kid.
Garbage pail kid. What the hell you saying?
So that was like, that's my point about that. You shouldn't have brought that boy up. I'm not exploiting anything. You brought him up.
Since you want to bring him up, let's just show everybody that you lied from the jump. You piece of shit. You lied.
I mean,
how dare you?
How one reaches out with the other is one thing, but it wasn't the way you said it, and it doesn't matter anyway. So there's that. The other thing, let's see. We talked about Aspen Dental. Okay.
Ugh. Okay. My stomach is pretty sick hearing that woman's what she wrote to her.
Isn't that lady, when I talked to Jessica, she said that her love for her son was so great that when her daughter was born, she told her daddy she didn't know how she was going to love her the same as she loved the boy. And that was something she was willing to admit. But she said her love for that boy, Julian, was so great that
he was probably the firstborn, right?
Yeah. They said that when she got that tattoo on her arm of his name, her daddy was like so upset and befuddled at why she did that.
Because she's crazy.
Yeah. She liked the attention that she was getting, and she went ahead and mirrored it. You know what I mean?
She did. And then she found out that girl was going to get a settlement.
Yep.
From the loss of that child, circumstances, and she sailed on that girl, manipulated her, struck when her the most weakest part of her fucking life, probably.
Well, she was sedated so heavily.
Yeah,
she was so heavily sedated after that.
Shit, dude.
She is. There's nothing about her that's not that. You are a piece of shit. All the way 360 degrees around, you're a piece of shit. Now,
hey, Yab, I got a question for you. How would your people over there want to find out about your girlfriend that you got on your panel nowadays? How's that gonna go over for your folks?
Yeah.
Huh? How's that gonna go over? Because I'm gonna tell you something, sugar pie. They will find out. Don't worry.
Yep. That's exactly my point.
That's what I want to know. What will her people say? What kind of trash you got it there as a girlfriend? I don't give a fuck if y'all lick each other till the cows come home. I don't care. My thing is, you're not going to sit here and try to put this piece of trash on no pedestal.
Yep.
What she's done to folks.
Yep.
Okay?
It's
and you're going to get the repercussions of it. You'll be the collateral damage because You lick her taco. So fuck you, big hair.
And here's oh my god, and here's my point. Before I know you're. This will get you going.
Oh God, Mandy.
She had. Okay, so we're talking about me, Savage.
Y'all see how Mandy wants me to go off?
I do want you to go off, Jessica.
This is her
Arabia.
pure entertainment, y'all. This is Mandy's pure entertainment. For me to go the fuck off.
Now that we're about to get all of the facts off, and then we're going to cut loose. So stand by. So 4 people. There's Jessica, Arabia, Savage, and me. We're not going to count Pirate because she was never friends with Pirate. Right. But out of those 4 people that she claims to be good friends, all 4 of them are saying the same thing about how their friendship ended. All 4. 4 different walks of life, 4 different
states
parts of the country, and they all, when they heard the stories are all the same.
Yeah,
the friendship ended, and they just wanted her to leave them alone, and she doesn't, and she won't. So take that to the banky, Yaba.
Yeah, you were the very first one, you dumb bitch.
That's exactly. You warned the whole community about her, and now you're with her.
How you gonna try to paint this picture? Because I'll go talk to Foodie Booty and tell her all about you and your girlfriend.
Exactly. Oh my God.
I bet her supporters would love to know about it, you bully. You big fat butt tooth bully.
I know. It's like no one at the end of the day cares that y'all are in love. If you are,
no. It's pure sickening. Nobody wants to picture it.
No.
Nobody wants to think about it. Nobody wants to hear about it.
No.
Because you got 2, like I've said, 352 tons of fun wilding around sounding like fucking hogs mating.
Exactly.
Who wants to picture that shit?
And it's so transparent that you can't handle. If I go quiet about, her, she will throw something else out there to drag me back in, like this thing today talking about this poor passed on child, because I hadn't said nothing about her in a few days, nothing, and so she threw that out there. All I can say is shame on you for using that as bait. Shame on you. That's all I can say about that. I mean, and then you got the 3 Musketeers over there on Wendy, Diane,
not saying a fucking word,
saying anything. And her, like we already talked about it, but they're condescending, BS going off on Republican Ash. But I'll tell you this: the tide is turning. Y'all are being exposed for exactly what you are. You will have your diehard supporters that if you could drown cats live and they'd still love you.
God, yeah.
Those people are whatever. But when you keep saying these things like you're finished or whatever, nobody is intimidated by you. You or Telfer. Nobody is intimidated. Okay. No. You've done everything you can do. You've called CPS, animal, you've called everything you can call on several people, right? Like, Lord, you've gone about as real life as you can freaking go.
Called a damn dog man on that poor mama bear. The hell's wrong with y'all? Trying to get that damn dog taken from her. That dog was by a death's door. It was in the tunnel, knowing that dog was fine. It wanted to die happy on her bed, and y'all tried to take that little dog from her. Yeah. Y'all are sick.
That was really
y'all are sick. Y'all can't ever say I'm a devil.
So she says Foodie Beauty doesn't eat anything else to spark her crazy ass. Facebook refuses to bring attention to the YouTube underground. She says that is trash and doesn't deserve recognition.
You know what? Her dad the YouTube underground won't even her fucking idea. She stole that from Ron.
She loves me. That's what she said.
Because none of these bitches can come up with nothing original.
Nope, nothing.
She had to slide that one out from old Ron over there. So you ain't original or entertaining either, you butt tooth fucking Becky bitch. I will slam you every fucking day. Any day of the week. Because I know how you are, bitch. I saw your game a long time ago.
Exactly. And then it's like they have played out all of their things that they can possibly play out. But I'll tell you this, the veil of whatever people perceived Samantha to be is completely gone. She is exposed for the spineless
Calling.
calling snake that she is. That woman
Scaredy
called the
cat.
cops tonight. She knew that girl wasn't a threat to her physically. She called the
No.
cops because she was getting her feelers hurt. It was hurting her feelers. Let me tell you about that tape you want to bring up. Nobody has it. Nobody wants it. I don't even care if it exists. You can stop about that. Nobody wants
to see it.
Nobody wants it. Even if nobody wants it. So you can
Nobody
stop
wants to
with
see
that.
your ground up hamburger meat hanging. Get the fuck out of here.
Right now, an entire dissertation basically to the police department saying, naming me and you and the other girl and naming us specifically. You really want some attention. You really do. And nobody's going to give
waiting.
it to you.
I'm still waiting on my papers.
That's exactly. I was waiting for my certified mail to come. I've been sitting around the house for 5 days waiting for it. It's not here yet. So it's like, feelers. Yeah, I love that word. Then is that the real Bergs?
No, it's a fake.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
So
Lord, I'm getting summons to somewhere else.
Oh, are you? They're ready for you. Ready for you on Neighbors. Well, no, we can wrap this one up. But I just
we want everybody to just
my point.
Remember the things you've heard.
My point with this is, Julian had a mother. Never did she turn her back on her boy. Never. She was, is, and always will be his mother. You woke up ready to fight today, connecting me to that boy for whatever reason. Your beef is not with me about that. It's not with me. So stop. And that shame on you for bringing that up, and shame on you, ladies' night, for not saying that's underhanded, because I didn't do what she's accusing me of doing.
Right.
I spoke with her, yes, but I am in no way saying that all of those things were true and that she wasn't that boy's mother. Jessica was that boy's mother.
Yep.
She was.
His whole life.
Yes. There was not a second mom. She had him and loved him for his entire life. She struggled with tranquilizer addiction after she lost him, which is understandable.
Exactly.
And she's clean, and she was clean before that. So stop. That's what I have to say.
Me too. I think you said it well.
Yep. So,
watch the live stream, record it, take pictures, share it with your friends.
We do not have any sort of gag order on us whatsoever.
No.
Not at all.
Would.
Yeah, I don't know why you brought me into it, because you didn't get any attention. So you tried to bring me into it. I've spoken on it, and now I've learned my lesson. Well, it wasn't like I need to learn a lesson, but I'm not going to fall for your attention getting stuff anymore, because I know now of the 4 friends that you had, they end the same way. The obsession and the stalking is there in every single one of them. And now you have a girlfriend, and Yaba, you know what she is. You've always known what she is.
I think she's too embarrassed to walk away from it now.
I don't know.
I really do.
Exactly. All I've got to say is, you better get security guards when y'all's relationship ends.
I do. I think she's terrified to walk away. All this shit's coming out. She's getting so much heat about who she's with and doing this. Yeah, I think she's like, oh shit, I got myself in too deep. If I really try to lead this bitch, she's gonna cut my throat.
Exactly. That's exactly it. I think she's waiting.
Blink twice, bitch. If you need help, I might call somebody. Blink twice.
No, she needs to tell her girlfriend. She's the cop caller.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys, that was my point for that. Just leave people alone. Leave your ex-friends alone and let them, leave them be. And just go be happy with your girlfriend, right?
Yeah,
just
please
go
do. Gotta fuck home somewhere.
Yeah, 2 tons of fun. Okay, Savage.
All right, girl.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
See everybody later. Bye.
Bye.